We got video. All right.
Hey,
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm hanging. It's a good day.
Walk up. Wait. Hold on. Wrong one. Wrong one.
Got music? I like it.
Yeah, that was. I gotta remember which one is one. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. And then, if you ever make a joke.
I like it. That's awesome. Valenz is a straight profesh.
Hey, man, we trying. We are trying out here. Okay. All right. Adam, guess what?
What?
We have a name for the podcast this week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is we'll call this the official first episode.
Absolutely.
All right. Do you want to tell the people what the name of our podcast is?
Yes, it is the Reps That Count podcast.
Right. The Reps That Count. All right. Would you mind telling us like what that's about? Obviously, like, you know, it's not just a weightlifting thing or CrossFit thing.
Yeah, this podcast is gonna have very little weightlifting and fitness stuff. So we will touch on that, but it's more about everyday life. You know, the struggles that we go through, the triumphs that we go through, and the moments that count and the moments that should count. A lot of people just coast through life, and it's almost like they're asleep. You know, and there's certain moments that they're missing out on or they're not capitalizing on, and those are the ones that we have to the reps that count.
Yeah. So just basically the thing, like, we're gonna focus on some of the things that a lot of people ignore, and some of the things that we might not see as important, but they count a lot.
Absolutely.
All right. So welcome to the Reps That Count with Valenz and Adam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we here, baby.
We here.
All right. So we have a new topic today. We have a list of topics.
A long list.
A long list of topics because ADHD.
Yeah, ADHD. You know, they're good topics.
They're great topics.
Yeah.
Most of them, you know. Well, I think all of them actually you came up with. Like, you sent me the list, and like, you know, right now I'm just kind of like picking whatever one you sent, and I'm like, let's do that one today.
Yes.
But specifically, today we're gonna talk about failing forward.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you the reason why I chose this topic.
Tell me.
All right. So on my photography thing, like I do this project called the One Question Project, where, you know, I basically do a mini photo shoot with a weightlifter because I want to practice my photography, like studio type photography. So I have like a backdrop and everything. And then I ask them one question, and the question, they don't know what the question is until I ask them.
Nice.
And it's just one question, right? And the last episode I did, the question was like to the weightlifter. Her name's Sarah, by the way. It's on my Instagram. If you like, what's like one piece of advice she received from another teammate or coach or someone that she would give to somebody else? And the piece of advice she got was, fuck up at full speed.
Ooh, that's powerful.
Like, if you're gonna fuck up at full speed.
Yeah.
And I posted that like 2 or 3 days ago. And, you know, it got some good responses. Like, you know, people were like, oh man, that's great advice. And I looked at the list that you sent, and Fell Forward was on that list.
No, now it's fuck up at full speed.
It's the
That's
same.
it.
Yeah.
That's what sounds so great.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's go ahead and, you know, we'll talk about that today. We're going to talk about fucking up at full speed.
I like it.
So, yeah. Do you want to start?
Yeah. I would say there was a long time in my life where I didn't participate because I was scared of even getting in the ring. And this stems, we talked about it back when I was 18. My dad passed away. So that kind of started this road of fear of abandonment, but also fear of failure, because it was no one there to pick me up, kind of thing.
Okay.
Which it was weird. So I would have these great ideas, and then I would start them hard, and then before they were even finished, self-sabotage.
Okay.
Like big time.
Okay.
And I did that until New York. So until I started going to therapy and all this, we spoke about that in the last episode too. And it was my therapist that actually told me, you got to get in the ring. Like, you can't just keep on talking about all these ideas that you have. None of them matter unless you're in the ring. So, and then I failed. so
What was your first failure? Like, do you remember like something that like you tried and like it hit you hard?
Yeah, my first and biggest failure was my first gym.
Okay.
Which we opened in 2015. Lasted a year and a half, almost 2 years, and great community. We built like I have members here.
Oh wow!
Back from there, just because they followed me and they loved the community. But I had zero business experience. I had zero knowledge of the area. You know, I had just moved from New York. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just a good coach. Being a good coach and being a good business person is two completely separate things. So that was probably my first big failure. It took me a long time to recover from that one.
Okay.
But I did. And I do think that was failing forward. We ended up moving back to New York. And then I just joined the gym as a member. So I had to fall in love with fitness again. Because I couldn't even, like, it was that bad. I couldn't even pass the street of the gym because was just so much emotion tied into there. And then once I was in New York, they asked me to coach because I was a pretty good athlete and they knew my coaching experience. And then I had to fall in love with coaching again. So it was a long process, but it was failing forward because a lot of the lessons that I learned from being broke in a gym and having to sleep on a cot and having to make those tough decisions, you can't learn that unless you're in the ring.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest one, and I would say that's failing forward because now I'm back in the gym.
Well, I mean, I would. It's only failing forward because you didn't really give up necessarily. Like you know, obviously you had to, get rid of the gym or whatnot, but like not fully giving. Like you didn't. All right, I'm gonna go be an accountant now.
I tried.
You did?
I worked for GM Financial. I was a buyer.
Really?
I studied finance in college, and I just couldn't. I can't sit. I can't sit at a computer, and it's just not me. And there's something that just kept drawing me back to fitness.
Okay.
I'm decently good at it, but there's nothing more fulfilling to me than helping people. And
Okay.
this was my tools for helping people.
All right, so there's something interesting here that we just kind of breezed over a little bit. So you went to school for finance,
Yes.
opened up a gym,
Yes.
but like somehow the financial, like did you go to school for finance before the gym or after?
Before.
Okay.
School's not going to teach you anything.
Okay, that's what that's exactly what I. That's where I wanted to bring it. I wanted to bring it to the fact that like schooling and experience are two different things.
Oh no, you're gonna get punched in the face when you get out into the real world. Like, you can study business, but until you're inside of a business, you don't know anything.
Okay.
I've learned more from a good book than I did in my entire college experience.
Wow.
It's these classes are designed to teach you such a high level basic understanding of business that it's academic. It's not real world experience.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm grateful for the money I spent on this degree that I don't use. But I learned from failing in business.
Yeah.
And, some of the best business mentors I've ever had said the same thing. They learned from being in the ring.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Cool. So like, what would you say you learned? Like, what was like the most like important lesson from that failure? Like, as far as like in the business, like, what's something that's like, okay, I'm not gonna make this mistake again.
Systems win.
Okay.
You can work hard. You can have a good staff. You can have the best market in the world, but unless you have the right systems in place everything's by chance. And if one thing falls out of that, let's say things are going well, and one thing falls out of whack, and you don't have the systems to recoup from that and to replace that part that fell out, that's it. You're screwed, right? And that's why some of these big companies end up failing, or a gym that buys another gym can't duplicate that result because it's a standalone miracle that it went well, right? You had the right staff, and you had the right this,
and you're in the right location.
You're in the right location, but if you set up the right systems, like this, it's a numbers game, and the marketing aspect of it, and just the way classes are ran, and if everything is systematized and written down in the procedures and the SOP, when we were talking about SOP of your life, then that's something that you can duplicate. And I learned that through that experience, but also working for some really, really good gyms that had great systems.
Okay.
So I think that's another thing where, yeah, it's cool to be an entrepreneur, but it's, if you go straight into entrepreneurship with, like I did, like I didn't coach for a long time before I decided I'm going to open a gym.
Okay.
You're selling yourself short because you're not learning from someone else's mistakes or someone else's wins, or, you know, pretty much putting in the reps before it's all on you.
Yeah. That's interesting right there. Like, I really love that. Like, because, like you said, like, the book, you can learn a lot from a book. Like, whenever I speak to people about books, because I'm always like, yo, you gotta read, whatever. The reason, like, I always tell people to read, it's kind of like, you remember Game Sharks back in the day?
Yeah.
The magazines that would, like, walk you through a whole game.
Yep.
That's what I see books that are as, right? It's like someone could go through like 20 years of business and put everything in a book that you could read in 1 week.
Yep.
And like, you will just, like, one of the best books I read for business. Like, whenever somebody starts a business, I'm like, pick up Shoe Dog.
Amazing. Nike. Dude.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm like, I listened to that book. I'm like, the amount of times this man almost failed.
Crazy.
Like, bro, he, like, at times it was like, okay, like a $10 bill would probably knock Nike out of business for life.
Yeah. That's a great book, great story. And I like the application aspect of it as well. You know, I like books where you read it and there's immediate application that you can have to your life, or to your business, or to something that you're doing. And another thing about reading, like, people that are just listening to audibles, you're not really picking up the information. If you're casually just driving in your car and listening to a book, which I do.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the second or third time that I'm listening to that book or reading that book.
Okay.
Because that's going in one ear and coming out the other. You're like saying, oh, that's a great idea, and it's gone. You know, like, that's not the best way to retain information. So if you pick up a book and you're like, I want to learn this is something that I do, and maybe it's because I'm ADHD, but I read and listen at the same time, and with a notebook next to me. So I'm listening and I'm reading at the same time, so I'm having like this double comprehension. And if it's super important, I'll pause and I'll write. Now I have like a system.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
To really learn and pick up some stuff. And it's going to take way longer, but I'm not going to have to read it a second and third time. So yeah, that's a tangent and a rant.
No, I mean, honestly, I just picked up something from that, because I do both, right? I don't do both at the same time. Like, I have books that I listen to, and then I have books that I read, right? Because I would just have like that one Audible credit. And I'm like, okay, let me just, pick up sometimes it's a fiction book, but most times it's like a self-help book or something. But I haven't like read and listened to a book at the same time yet. Like, I haven't tried that.
I got that from Alex Hormozy.
Okay. Yeah. He just came out with the $1 million lead. Yeah, right. I was listening to that book.
Yeah, and he says it. It's like, read and
right.
Like, if you're reading and listening at the same time, you comprehend way faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See, I gotta implement that system into my life right now, because I haven't.
But there are some books that are just casual reads. We were talking about Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights.
Yeah. Okay.
Great listen. Like amazing listen. It's him.
Yeah.
Like actually narrating.
Yeah.
It, you know, with the hey, everything. You know, so it's
that one I actually read. I didn't listen to that one. I read that one.
I did both.
Okay.
But at separate times.
Okay.
It's
okay.
a great listen.
Okay.
Great listen.
I might have to pick that one up on Audible soon.
So how about you? Failure.
Oh God. Honestly, man, like I feel like I fail way too many times, bro. Like, but like I never even see them as failures because like I haven't had like the big, huge like failure like in business, right? Because like I'm a photographer and I have my photography business. There's some things I've tried that I haven't succeeded in. Like for example, selling T-shirts, right? I go balls to the wall. I'm like, yo, all right, I need T-shirts. Like, this is something I've wanted to do since I was in high school. So I, made my first round of T-shirts. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I sold some. I don't know if I don't think I even made a profit, which is, because I don't have that system. Like, I don't really track things. It's for the first few years of my business, I have not had to rely on my photography money.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I was just kind of approaching it as like a hobby that pays. But I still have a bunch of T-shirts under my bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. They're vintage now.
Exactly, right? Like I have like 4 different versions of my shirts, just like different colors and stuff that like I haven't been able to move. So I guess I could say like that is one of my failures. Just like I went balls to the wall with shirts. Like, I mean, I don't have like a big box of them, but I don't think I got the return, like a profit back. And the shirts are still just sitting there and I see them often. I'm like, fuck.
And how is it forward?
I feel like it taught me that I need to plan better. I need to study marketing. That's one of the things that it really like made me understand. Like I need to understand marketing. I need to figure out like what my target audience is and how to actually push these shirts.
Yeah.
I need to study more for that market, I guess. But the other thing it taught me is I need to stop stretching myself too thin. Yeah. And like I'm doing too much at too many times. So that T-shirt experience kind of taught me I need to zoom in and just handle just one thing at a time, which I'm not really doing for real, but I'm getting better at. Right?
You realized.
Yeah.
And we forget, but then we realize again.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool. Let me draw back. Let me get back to just photography right now. Let me get that skill down packed some more.
I'm buying one of these shirts.
I have them. Good vibes save lives. Yeah. They're on my website too. So if anybody want to buy one, they're still available. I'll still ship them to you. But yeah, I think that was one of my failures. That and marriage. I failed at marriage. That one is deep.
Yeah.
But that I would honestly I should have just went there from the jump. I don't know why I went with this T-shirt thing.
That hit me. I was like, oh man, I wasn't expecting that one, but yes.
Yeah, like I think that was definitely my biggest failure in life. And as far as like failing forward, it forced me to actually take therapy seriously. Yeah. And start to figure out what happened and how, like, I don't know, like what I could have done better as a husband, as a partner. And I started just uncovering things and learning like about abandonment issues and just how everything just kind of, just doesn't, like, everything affects me in my adult life. So I'm still in therapy. Like, I mean, we spoke about this on the last episode. But yeah, that right there, it really kind of kicked me into being a better person.
Yeah.
And learning to control like my emotions and man, a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot of things through therapy.
And we spoke about this on the last episode, but that forced you into therapy and into this self-discovery phase in your life. And I'm pretty sure you're a better man because of this phase that you're going through now. So that's failing forward.
Yeah.
You know, not you guys share a kid together, so not every story's over, you know. And I'm not talking about romantically or anything like that, but you know, in terms of being amicable and raising a kid and all that, you know, you learning about yourself, and I'm pretty sure her learning about herself.
Yeah.
You know, there might be some good down the road.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I would. I mean, there's good now. Like, just
good.
as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah,
like I'm a completely different person. Like, it's weird. It's weird how, like, because I've always had like the positive outlook on life.
Yeah.
But when it happened, it was like everything just came crashing down. Like, my whole world just stopped existing. It was like, okay, like I was just like on a piece of land with nothing. It's like, okay, I have to rebuild. Like, I had no choice, right? The fact that I had a kid, I was like, okay, there's no time to, like, I could sit here and be sad about it, or I could just start moving one step forward, like, you know, a little bit at a time, you know, buy a piece of furniture here and there, like, just little things. And yeah, I'm learning to appreciate things more. I'm seeing what's important in life. Like, I'm not as materialistic as I want it to be, right? Because, like, I always had that mindset of like, okay, I want to get this amount of money so I could have this amount of stuff, and I could buy my son this and that or whatever. And then when we moved into our new apartment, it was like, all right, dude, we have the bare minimum. And it was just like, oh, we're still good.
Oh yeah.
And we're still happy. Like, oh, like, he doesn't care about the things that I thought he was gonna care about. Like, as long as they're having fun, as long as he's with me, or as long as we're going to the park, I'm like, okay, like, so the big house on the hills is not that important to me right now.
I heard a quote the other day, and it was, the only person that is going to remember all that overtime you did at work is your kids. Ooh. Yeah. They don't care about any of that, man. It's right at this point in my life, and this was a recent switch after that burnout that I talked about. I'm just trying to buy my time back.
Okay.
Like, let's make enough money that I can spend time at home, spend time with my kid, with my wife, and this is recent. This is like, I was grinding a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Like, nonstop, 70 hours, 80 hours. And it took that burnout to have that switch. I wasn't even present when I was home. It's like, why are you working
at home?
It's like, or why are you working all these hours to pay for this house and to pay for this life that you're not even enjoying right now? This is crazy. And I feel like we all get caught up in that rat race.
Yeah.
So just trying to buy my time back.
Wow. Yeah. Because, I mean, you know, especially like on social media, there's a lot of push for the grind. Yeah. Man, you got to be always on your grind. And I'm like, yeah, but at some point you got to put your phone down. At some point you got to stop answering emails. I mean, and if you don't, like, something's going to stop you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was a crash.
Yeah. And something's going to stop you, or, you know, like, at some point you're going to just stop and look around and be like, oh, like my life is gone. Like, I could have, like, I didn't enjoy any of my good years.
Yep.
And the system is also set up like that, right? Like retirement, you got to wait till, what, 65 and a half, 66. And it's like, if you grind all your life, if you work, like, even if it's a good job, 9 to 5, like Monday through Friday, like, and you wait till you're in your 60s to start taking vacations, it's like, you can't even really enjoy the vacations anymore.
How crazy is that? We spend our entire lives to work towards, for most people, like, we're going to try to stay healthy and vital for as long as we can. But for most of society, that last 20 years is decrepit. And
Yeah.
they can't do stuff.
And that's when they're like, hey, all right, cool. Now, sir, that you gave us all of your good years, you could go relax. And it's not even because, like, we care about you. It's literally because, like, dude, we don't need you right now. Like,
you're useless now.
Yeah,
so get out.
your eyesight is gone.
Yeah.
Like, you can't walk up the stairs. Like, sir, go away. Go on vacation.
Go on permanent vacation. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
That's pretty
dude.
crazy.
Yeah, man. Like, you can't go skiing at, like, 66.
Yeah.
Like, you can, but, like,
You gonna
are you
break your hip?
Yeah.
You better been in the gym.
So, yeah, I guess the moral of that little rant was just enjoy life now. Go on vacations now. Take your PTO. I mean, I'm not saying stop working and be an entrepreneur because everybody can't do that. And that in itself is hard. It's
So,
like working 2 jobs.
Yeah, it's job sucks.
That shit is not fun.
It's not fun.
It's the most stressful freaking, just like, you really just created another job for yourself with no benefits until.
Yeah. I want my money back. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's not for the faint of heart. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Don't get me wrong, and I'm still gonna do it. But I do have a day job
Yeah.
that I also really love.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's
Absolutely. So there was a book that I read 2 years ago, Essentialism by Greg McKeown, and it talks about the whole premise of the book is do less,
okay.
as little as possible. But when he's saying that, it's cut out all the fluff, every single piece of fluff out of your life, out of your job, and only do these highly critical tasks, the tasks that have the biggest effect or the biggest impact, and don't do anything else. Systematize everything else and make sure that it's operating. But there's only a set amount of things that will move the needle.
Okay.
And just focus on those things. And for us with ADHD, like we do a lot of stuff that does not move the needle in
Not
any
at all.
direction.
Honestly, it's just for me. I love the distraction. I love the distraction. I'm like, dude, let me do this over here because there's a whole big
that's
task.
hard.
Yeah,
'Cause
like, I don't want to do that right now.
Yep.
Like I just told you, I stayed up till like 4:00 the other day, like editing a wedding video. It took me a few days, right, to edit the video, plus the long night. It took me altogether, like I've been working on this video for 2 months,
And you got it done in one day.
and in a couple days.
In a couple days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started like 2 months ago. No joke. Like I started and I was like, oh, this part looks awesome. I got that. I'm good. And then it was just like, all right, yeah.
I think there's something to that. Like, you would be way farther ahead in life by doing the hardship first. And I don't do this often, but if you look, what is the thing that's bothering me the most? Let me knock that out.
Okay.
And if that's how you approach each day, I think we would feel a lot less anxious because those things are in the back of our head all the time.
Absolutely.
Or the hard conversation, or, because we have those that we'll just avoid at every given moment.
Have you ever had like been in a position where, again, like you had to have a hard conversation with somebody, or you had to apologize or say something, but then you don't do it, and then it just becomes harder and harder and harder, and then you just kind of like, all right, at this point they probably forgot. Or
All the time.
even like at parties when I see people and if I don't get to say hi to them like immediately, like I just automatically start feeling like, oh shit, I fucked up.
That was a fail forward for me.
Okay.
So, because that was just a part of who I am. My life's kind of been like everyone loves Raymond. And I'll be honest, like I'm a pleasant, pretty nice guy. So people just generally like me.
Okay.
And I grew this sense of not wanting to be disliked. So, and I've been put in managerial situations against my will all the time. So I would avoid these conversations that I needed to have because I was everyone's friend and everyone's buddy. And it came back to bite me in the ass like hard. I'm in my last job. Like I was ganged up on. I was like, man. So I have made it a point. Like yesterday I had to have a hard conversation. And I was so straight up and so blunt about it. And the person was so appreciative about me being transparent. And we make these things in our head. Like it's not hard. It's words. And it's not hard. And people want to hear the truth.
Yeah. Like we create a whole conversation in our head and like a whole bunch of different scenarios. All right, this is how this is going to go.
Yeah.
But it often doesn't go as bad as we think it's going to go.
No, rip that Band-Aid.
Yeah. Just go for it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I through therapy, like learn to say no more.
It's my favorite word. I wrote a whole email about it.
I probably have that email in my mailbox that has 1,200 emails, but that's
I'm at 39,000.
What?
Yeah, 39,000. It's crazy. Yeah, I can show you 39,000.
How?
You know how there's two types of people: people that clean out their mailbox daily, and then people that let it pile up.
For how many years?
They had it for 10 years probably. So now it's so far gone that I'm gonna just get a new email. No, I'm gonna clean it out. Is there a program I can just download to clean it out? No. You're judging me.
I'm trying not to. I'm not gonna say I'm not. I'm just gonna say I'm trying not to. But that 39,000 emails.
It's a real number. It's so far gone. What am I gonna do? It's so far gone.
Yeah, at this point, you just have to
change my name.
Is this like a Gmail account? No,
Gmail.
Gmail. Wow.
The thing is, there's some important stuff in there. I don't even know what to do.
But how do you find the important stuff?
You can search, like, if I remember something, I'll search the name of it, and then it'll pop up in these 39,000 emails.
I was just.
It's like Google.
What the? Oh my God! This man has
help me, bro. Help me, bro.
I was gonna suggest something, but then I don't think it's gonna work for you. I was just gonna be like, okay, just go back to like page 1 and click select all
and delete.
Then select delete, and then just do that. I don't know how many pages 39,000 emails would have. But then you just said there's important stuff.
It's only 50 emails per page, bro.
Okay,
that's a lot. They don't want to hear about it.
Wait. No.
Okay.
I'm interested at this point. I'm sorry. Wait. Okay, so 39,000. Is that 39,000 unread?
Unread emails.
Oh God. I don't think if it was important, you wouldn't have read it in 10 years.
Very true. I probably read all the important stuff.
Yes. So all the old unread stuff, you should probably delete.
I could do that? I could delete all unread emails?
Probably.
Okay. I'm going to go with that. Wow. Thank you, IT.
You know what? Just search the word unsubscribe. If you have the option to unsubscribe, then it's probably not important.
Delete
it's probably, that's
a great hack.
Boom.
Great hack.
Boom. Just delete everything that has that option and then unsubscribe to all. Golly. What were we talking about? Failing forward?
No idea. Failing forward. You see? This is failing forward. I'm going to delete these emails.
All right. Next time we get in here, let's see if we could get like 38. Let's get to like 38.
And this is my problem, right? For me, it's 39,000 or 0. But my email today that's going out is about that. Don't do that. Don't only think of 0 to 100.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
all right, so then follow. Yeah,
I will practice.
Practice what you. Wow. I am baffled right now.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Like my girl judges me for my 12 1,200 or whatever.
You got a lot of emails too.
I do, but it's not 39,000.
Are they important?
I don't know. I don't know. They might be.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So what's one last thing to leave the listeners with?
All right. Can you start? Because I'm.
Delete your emails. Don't let them pile up. Don't let life just pile up, man. No.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how we got to the 39,000 emails.
Yeah.
Not letting life pile up. Okay, cool.
Actually, yes. So that's like these conversations that I'm now having, or like I said, trying to tackle what's the hardest thing what's the thing that I'm avoiding? Because I journal every day.
Okay.
Every single day. And one of the questions I do the monk journal, the monk manual. It's like a guided journal.
Okay.
One of the questions is, what made you feel unrest today? So like some sort of angst.
Mm-hmm.
And that you fill out at the end of the night. And then there's a tab that's priorities. So your day's priorities. So tackling this stuff on a daily basis so it doesn't pile up. I feel like most of society is just walking around with all sorts of debt, financial debt, emotional debt, connection debt, relationship debt, health debt. And so they're just so indebted, they're buried, and they don't know how to get out of it.
Wow.
And it's seriously. And this is most people. I talk to a lot of people every single day. Most people that this is how they feel, and they're overwhelmed, and they're anxious, and they're stressed out, and they don't know why.
Oh my God. Like we could keep, because we just had a conversation with somebody about anxiety.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And like her dad was like, anxiety doesn't really exist. But I mean, it kind of does. But if you add what you just said, like if we start taking care of the debts that we have, like we could clear out our anxiety.
Anxiety, and I'm not talking about clinical anxiety. I'm talking about like feeling anxious is this boogeyman in the closet, and if you open the closet, it's not there. You know, if you address these things head on and you tackle them, you would see that they're not as big as we make them out to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a lot there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like we should definitely.
That'll be a whole other episode.
Yeah. Like like there's a lot there, just being in debt. Like I never thought about being in.
That's the first time I said that. So I hope this is recorded.
That was dope though.
Stuff. Yeah,
that was dope. Like the different types, because like I only think financial, but like health. Like if you've.
And just so you guys know, we don't talk about any of this before we sit in this room.
Yeah, no, this is freestyle.
Yeah.
Freestyle, baby. But yeah, like being in like health debt, like if you let 50 pounds pile up, that's like
that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, and we could break it down. There's emotional debt. There's relationship debt, like people you're indebted to and how you avoid. And then there's that health debt and financial debt. Okay.
All right. So that I'll let you close out with that. And then for me, failing forward. I say take a chance, man. Like start now. Mm-hmm. Like take a chance on whatever it is that you're trying to do. Like even like we kind of jokingly said like entrepreneurship is not for everybody. But I think in life in general, like entrepreneurship could teach you a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like failing through it. Even if you don't make it, like the skills that you learn, like starting your own business and putting it on your resume. Like when I applied for my job, the fact that I had my own business, they're like, oh, like you have this, and it's been for I think 6 years now. It's like, so this is still valid. Yeah, I'm like, I still do taxes for Snappy Patchy Media. Like, this is still a legit thing. Like, start something. Like, fail forward. Go to the gym. Like, a lot of people feel like, I have to be ready. I have to be fit to go do CrossFit. It's like, what?
I'll tell you something. When you came into the gym that first time, Ari was here.
Yeah.
And he introduced us.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, you don't know him?" And I was like, "No, I don't," because I moved from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, he's one of the best photographers for CrossFit and weightlifting in the area." And I'm pretty sure it didn't start that way day one.
Oh no.
You know, that's that failing forward and doing the reps has earned you a reputation for being, one of the best at what you do.
I'm like, sorry, I'm stuck on the fact that he introduced me like that.
Yeah, swear.
That's fucking crazy. Like, I'm trying not to cry right now.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. That's exactly how he introduced you. So yeah, you put in the reps.
Wow. Yeah. I picked up that first camera and I failed, and I sat on the couch for hours at night and just watched YouTube videos and searched keywords that, like, because I would watch one YouTube video and they'll say something and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
That's the most annoying part, bro.
Not knowing what something
Yeah, because you gotta look it up and pause.
Then I watch a whole nother video about it. I'm like, okay, cool. And like, I did that for years. And I still kind of struggle with, like, the fact that somebody just introduced me as one of the best.
I've seen your work. You are, dude. So, and everyone knows you for what you do. I think that's amazing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So yeah, I think that's a good place to end this episode.
See you next week.
Yeah. This was fun.
Yes.
How you like the audio?
Love
Good?
it. Love it.
Yeah.
Failing forward.
We did fail forward with the audio. Last week was not that great, but this week,
perfect.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, so we'll sign off. I'm Valens. Last
I'm
name
Adam.
Nicholas.
I'm Adam.
And
Caratini.
This was the reps that count. Yeah.
Legit, he's got sound effects. My boy's got tricks.
We're good.